Welcome to Apex Garage. Today we're going to show you how to put a set of Apex Overlay Gen 3s on this 2011 Mustang Premium. First we got to get the wheel off and get the Gen 2 overlay off, and then we can get started. Now that we have the wheel and overlay removed, you can see the two mounting holes here that have already been drilled and tapped. And I'm not going to go into that process in this video because we have a drill and tap video on our website for you to follow. One thing I will tell you is you're going to need a 4mm Allen wrench, and you're also going to need a 3mm Allen wrench for installing the brackets and the overlay itself. And then you're also going to need an 8mm boxed-in wrench. So to get started, simply pull the print out of your kit. On the print, you're going to find the bill of materials. You're going to find all the parts that are included in the kit and in which order they mount in. That includes the brackets here, washers, spacers, and bolts. So the first part that has to get mounted is the spacer and bracket assembly, which is eventually going to hold the caliper, the overlay onto the caliper. And you can see here there's a 3/8 inch aluminum black anodized spacer, and also we've got a 1.5 inch long machined aluminum bracket and a 25mm stainless steel button head bolt. And again, when you look on the print, you're going to see all these in the bill of materials, and you'll also see in which order they get installed. But you simply screw this into the hole, and at this point, just prior to this, you might want to add a little anti-seize. Galvanic corrosion can occur between dissimilar metals, and even though we're using stainless steel and this is a steel bracket, it's still not a bad idea. It's your choice. If this was aluminum and steel, it would be a much bigger issue in that you know, they could seize up, especially in the winter months, for everybody that happens to be in snow and salt. And it just makes getting the bolts out a little bit easier a few years down the road. Now, I've done this a few times, so I happen to know on this on Mustangs, these brackets are going to be aimed in this direction and put you in just get you in the general area. And what you want to do is just snug the bolt up so you can still move the bracket a little bit. Now it's time to mount the overlay. And again, we're just going to put this on and just snug it up, and that way we'll be able to make some adjustments, make sure it's centered and get it exactly where we want it. Before doing that, make sure you get the 5x16mm bolts screwed into the mounting holes over on this side, and also a couple of stainless steel washers. Again, the bill of materials and the print's going to show you this. And you're going to simply take another washer on the back side of your bracket and a 5mm lock nut, and you're going to screw that down. And again, just like with the slotted brackets, we're not going to tighten this all the way. We're going to leave it so that it's a little bit loose so we can make an adjustment. And I'm going to do the bottom one, and then I'll be right back to show you how to do the adjustment. Once you have the two lock nuts snugged up, you should be able to move the overlay up and down and front to back, and that's going to enable you to get it centered on the disc here. And once you've done that and you feel like you've got it where you really want it, simply take the two lock nuts off, and then we'll tighten the mounting bracket screws down and then remount the overlay. So I've got the overlay off, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure these are good and tight. Put the two washers on each bolt. Get it back in place, make sure I haven't moved anything. Everything looks good. And take your nut and washer and simply tighten everything back up. And at this point, once you've done that, then we're going to move to the next step, which is putting the wheel on and making sure that we have all the proper clearances. Now that you have the wheel back on, you want to make sure to check for some clearances, certainly on the outside of the wheel. You want to make sure that you got enough space on the inside, and particularly in behind the wheel. If this was an OEM wheel, it might be, you're going to notice it's a little tighter down towards the inside of the hub, or closer you get to the hub. If you have an interference issue there because you've maybe installed the overlay too close to the hub, simply pop the wheel off, loosen up your brackets, move the overlay out, retighten the brackets, and reinstall the wheel. This is a 20-inch Shelby wheel, so there's lots of room. You can see I can get my entire hand in here. So there's not a space issue on this one. And you're going to find there isn't a space issue either on the OEMs unless you've installed your overlay too close to the hub. Now, when it comes to cleaning your overlays, you don't want to use brake cleaner. You just want to use regular soap, or whatever you use to wash your car or wheels with is okay. Crud cutter, wheel cleaner. I simply just take a rag and wipe them down. The brake dust just comes right off. When I'm waxing my car, or in between hard waxes, and I'm just using a detailing wax, I wax those as well. That helps the brake dust to wipe off easier. These do a decent job of keeping brake dust off your wheels, but it's not 100%. Nothing really is. But if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us at apexoverlay.com. You can get us on Instagram or Facebook. And please send pics of your ride after you've done your install. We love to get them on our blog. Until then, thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the road.